Hello and welcome back to Musiology, the study of your muse with your host, Katie Fritz. And I'm sorry if I sound off today or if I start just sounding like I'm dragging along. I haven't been feeling that good for this past week of when I'm recording this. Don't worry, I got test results back today. I do not have COVID. I am negative with the virus. I don't know, I just can't stomach things as easily as I could. I'm gonna try to eat some cookies maybe throughout this. My mom made some cookies. Like, today I'm doing okay, but like this past week, ugh. Literally, I couldn't even stomach chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup, that should be the only thing that could get you through a sickness, but I couldn't even do it. It's just not been good. But hey, I'm negative, so we're good. Everything's good. Anyways, as you could tell from the title of this video, I think it's a hot topic right now in this year, because everybody who is fan of rock and roll always had the question, is it dead? Why don't we hear it anymore in mainstream side like how it used to be in the past? Why is everybody just not talking about rock and roll? But now people are saying it's making a comeback. And is it really making a comeback, or is it being revived? And we'll talk about that more once we get more into it. So, are y'all ready to start off this episode? I think I am. I did definitely not procrastinate to the last day to record this. Anyways, let's get into it. Is rock and roll making a comeback in 2020? Is it? Well, we should probably get into more of the fact of why do people think rock and roll is dead to begin with. And I think one big reason people might think it's dead is because the rock fandoms can be very toxic. Like, as hell, man. Like, one big thing that happens in rock and roll communities and fandoms is gatekeeping. And let me just say, it's not just the top people, not 21 Pilots fans. They're not the only ones that gatekeep like hell. Older rock fans gatekeep too, and there's an example with the glam metal scene. I have seen many of my friends or acquaintances on TikTok who do also like rock type content on their accounts get old guys like in their 50s telling them, you can't like this genre, you were not old enough when we were alive, we lived through this era of music. Sir, that's gatekeeping, and if you want your genre music to die, well, you're doing the right thing, because what the hell? The only way people are going to start listening to that music if you, like, invite them in and say, hey, it's totally fine if you want to listen to this music even though you are only, like, 12 years old. Just enjoy it. Just because you weren't alive when people were actually snorting cocaine off each other's asses and you were not there for that, I think it's a good thing, because at least you're pure and innocent. But as we all know, there is toxic fandoms within newer rock genres. As I talked about the 21 Pilots fandom, that is very, very, very toxic. I remember when I used to listen to them, I wouldn't say I was a big top fan, I was just a listener. And holy shit, if you did not know if Tyler Joseph had a fucking birthmark right under his right ass cheek, then you would be cut. You wouldn't be talked to. Like, what the hell? It shouldn't matter how much you know personally of the people in the band or the artists themselves. It should just be, do you like the music? Is that hard to comprehend? So gatekeeping is a huge thing. I don't think it's just in rock and roll. It happens in other fandoms, but I feel like rock and rollers are very stubborn and hate when newbies come and act because they just think that they're just over here just because of da-da-da-da-da. Or like, for instance, I was a Motley Crue fan before The Dirt, but I only really listened to like their top hits, whatever came on the radio. Like I said in the last episode, I listened to 106.5, 105.7, and 102.3. Those are the main rock stations near me. And I would just listen to them. And yeah, some of their songs like Kickstart My Heart, Dr. Feelgood, Girls, 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 Wild Side, those songs would come on the radio and I would know them from that. I'm like, shit, this music's good. But I never really like jumped into listening to them that much until I watched The Dirt. And then I was like, oh my god, there's more to this band. Like, they are fucking crazy, and I fucking love that because it's just so much different than what we witness, like, with now rock bands. So, I wouldn't say I became a fan of Motley Crue just because of the Dirt. I think it sparked interest. But there's a lot of people who became fans of Motley Crue because they saw the Dirt on Netflix and watched it and were like, holy shit, this is good. We want to listen to their music. And then people who are Motley Crue fans are like, no, you can't like them. It's because you did. And it's like, man, just be happy that this band is getting revived. And the fact that, dude, they're going on tour again if COVID goes away. But they're going to go on tour. They said they would never tour again. But the reason why they're going on tour is because they blew up after the Dirt. They had so many more fans and they felt like, hey, these people, they never got the chance to see us live. Why don't we give them one more chance? So they're back. That's how powerful people can be and bring back a genre of music if you get some old geezers off their asses and now they're going on tour again. Like, what the fuck? Another reason why people think rock and roll is dead is because the genre isn't as mainstream as it used to be. And I'm going to go and look at the decades. So, like, rock and roll kind of was birthed in the 50s with people like Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, and more. They brought in the first wave of rock and roll with controversy written all over them. Like, dear Lord, they thought shaking hips was bad. They thought that was too sexual. Now, you should see nowadays people. Then we get into the 60s and we saw the Beatles just take the world by storm. Like, my dad says the Beatles are not rock and roll anymore. Like, if you would just put their music up against other people's music. And I'm going to say this right now. It doesn't matter if they were rock, if you think they aren't rock and roll. But back in the 60s, that was very, very hard for people to comprehend. Rock and roll was to make the parents mad. And when you got teenage or a little bit older than teenage boys seducing the teenage girl audience in a much more innocent way we see now, that's still fucking rock and roll. And they just took the 60s by storms with that, which led to the 70s where we get, I feel like, into the stoner age hippie, you know. We got Woodstock being big where people want to go to. Then you had Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Led Zeppelin, and so much fucking more. I think Led Zeppelin soon led us to what would be a very mainstream scene of rock, which is the 80s with hair/glam metal. This is where, like, the birth of, the infamous rock and roll bands would come in. People who would do crazy-ass shit, getting a lot of fucking money, and that's where we lead us to what people think rock stars are. So I feel like the 80s was just the peak of rock and roll. Then we start to simmer down and to get into the 90s, which was last seen with grunge. Because tell me, I think, like, the next thing you kind of get in the 2000s is pop punk with, like, MCR, Good Charlotte, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, all those kind of bands. But we all know that the real popular things that started getting into, like, the late 90s and getting into the 2000s was hip-hop. Hip-hop evolved into a rap scene. And what's popular right now? Rap. Rap is very well known in the mainstream world, and that's kind of like, boom, just bursting through our doors. So, it started dying off, I feel like, after grunge and the beginning of the pop punk, and then it's kind of just gone. But rock and roll never left us. And the reason being is because either some of the rock bands are known as butt rock, which I'll get into, and a lot of our beloved rock bands and artists started turning pop or converting to this mainstream sound so they wouldn't die off. One huge example I have of that, which makes me sad, because I used to love this band, was Panic at the Disco. I'm literally staring at a little whiteboard when I was decorating my room. I literally had the lyrics from Hey Look Mom, I Made It. I don't know why, because I definitely do not like Pray for the Wicked at all. But that's the thing. Panic at the Disco, their first album of Fever You Can't Sweat Out, was fucking amazing. Ryan Ross's lyrical ability was fucking amazing. Brendan Urie, he has an amazing vocal range. He has a beautiful tone. But it just seems like with the Pray for the Wicked album and him not even creating that much music anymore, it just sounds like he's trying to get into the pop scene, which it's working because High Hopes and fucking Hey Look Mama Made It was so fucking popular that I heard it all the time, and some of my friends who never heard of Panic at the Disco started singing along to this song, and then it got overplayed, and then, that was just the downfall of Panic at the Disco. I just wonder what it would be like if, like, Panic at the Disco had all the 4 original members, and if it would still be the same. Boy, I just wish it would. Anyways, on to the next thing was the theory of butt rock. And I'm not just talking, like, it sounds like I'm talking about, like, ass rock, but no. Butt rock is something that goes along the lines of artists only getting played on many stations, but it's only rock-heavy stations. So the fact of, like, there are bands like Papa Roach, Breaking Benjamin, Slipknot, and so many more that honestly have a huge ass following, but we just don't hear about them that often in mainstream view because they're only in this butt rock lifestyle. Like, it's insane to think that. I'm a big fan of Papa Roach. I'm a big fan of Breaking Benjamin, Slipknot, other bands like them. They're amazing, but they just don't get as much view as all these other artists in the world because they're not in the mainstream sense of, like, view, eyesight, something like that. And it's crazy because I actually watched the video. I will link the video about the butt rock theory down below. I forgot who created it. I watched it out of the, like, blue, and I actually might think I might make a whole video, like a whole podcast episode about it. But one thing I would like to bring up too about it is that some of these artists, these butt rock artists, get more monthly Spotify, like, listeners than people like Mariah Carey. And Mariah Carey is very well known, as all of us know. And it's Christmas time, we know. All I want for Christmas is you. But that's insane. If they're getting more monthly listeners, which means they have more fans than maybe than Mariah Carey, but they aren't going to be winning awards at Grammys. They aren't going to be, like, well-known and talked about in gossip fucking blogs. They're just not going to get that kind of attention. And that's because they're only on this butt rock side of viewing. And like I said, they've had huge fandoms, but they just do not get the mainstream view. And I just keep thinking that, like, what even is mainstream at this point? If we look at music in general, music genres are starting to get mixed, and mainstream views are starting to get mixed. Like, with having social media, we are able to pick our own view on social media. Like, if you look at a certain type of post on Instagram, your Explorer page is going to turn and have more posts like that. It's like, you're not going to be, if you look up, for me, if you see my Instagram Explorer page, it's just pictures of, like, Motley Crue and 80s bands along with Machine Gun Kelly, Youngblood, Black Veil Brides, Paley Royale. Like, that's my Explorer page, what it looks like. Well, yeah, plus with guitars and instruments and stuff. But I'm not going to start having people like fucking Ellen DeGeneres, or I'm not going to have, like, Ariana Grande showing up unless it's with Pete Davidson, because he's also on my Explorer page, but that's not the point. But we get thrown into our own little mainstream bubbles. Same with TikTok. People are on the straight side of TikTok while I'm over here on all TikTok on this music rock area of TikTok. And that's my little bubble of mainstream. I'm going to see what's happening on there, but my friends who are on straight TikTok are going to have their own thing. And they're going to be like, have you seen this video? I'm going to be like, no, but have you seen this video? It's been blowing up on TikTok. They're like, no. And that's because mainstream now, I don't know. There's definitely something that producers and all these executive, like, higher up people in the entertainment industry are going to push certain people. But there's definitely artists like the butt rockers who have more fucking fans than these other people. And it's just very, very, very intriguing to think about. So, if there were a lot of rock bands / artists thriving, Why do people think rock and roll is making a comeback now? In 2020, when these artists have been around since forever, there's always been some type of rock band doing well in society and the music industry. So why is 2020 the year that it's making a comeback? Well, the thing is that rock and roll never died. It just got revived. Or, god damn it, I hate myself with these outlines. I literally wrote down in parentheses, I said, or a kickstart of the heart. Fucking hell, I hate myself. Why the hell did I write a fucking pun in? Now, before we get into the next topic, I'm going to take a little bite of my cookie, and I'm just going to ask y'all, how's your guys' day going? I'm trying to eat things, even though this is probably not a good thing to eat. I'm so sorry for getting ASMR right now. But, truly, how has your guys' week been? Like, I'm kind of stressing because I haven't been feeling good. I had to take a COVID test. And now I'm anyways close contacted, so I'm out until Friday the 18th. I can finally go out into the world again on Friday the 18th. Then I have something, I literally am like, I can't work till then. And then Saturday I have 2 events that I have to get to. So I can't work Saturday. And I'm like, I need to make money because Christmas is around the corner. And I still have only bought 1 Christmas present. Ah. But yeah, these cookies are good. Thank you, Mom, for making cookies. But yeah, my week has kind of just been interesting. Like I said, I almost forgot to freaking work on this episode. It's literally Saturday, the day I'm recording this. So the day before. Like I said, I've just been sick all week. Like, yesterday was probably the worst. Friday was the worst day for me with my sickness. Bro, I was so bad. The only thing I ate that day was a bowl of cereal. It was fine after I was trying to finally watch. I sat down and started watching the season 2 of Mandalorian. Couldn't even get through the first episode. I started feeling sick, so I laid down. I went, you know the moment where you don't throw up, but you're just spending most of your time with your head in the toilet? Me. I swear to God, I was not hungover, but that was just me. So yeah, it was not a good day. Not a good day at all. Anyways, now that I had a little bit of bite of my cookie, I think it's time to get into why rock and roll isn't dead, but it's being revived. Are y'all ready for this? It's because mainstream artists are starting to turn and doing more rock-influenced pieces. For instance, okay, I will admit this really hits me because I did not like any of his music before, and I'm starting to listen to some of his older music now, but I still did not like him beforehand. I literally was like confused when I saw him at the Linkin Park Chester Bennington tribute. Like, I stayed up to watch that tribute, man. Time did not get sad, but when I saw him, I was like, who the fuck is this dude? And then I saw him like pop up here and there. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? I still don't know who the hell you are. Fuck off. Anyways, it's Machine Gun Kelly with his Tickets to My Downfall album. I don't know how to say this, but this album literally changed my thoughts on how the music industry works and who I really like, because sometimes there might be people that you don't like some of their music, but damn, they can change. And this is how much I'm going to say this album hit me as a music listener, is that I bought a physical copy of the CD. And now some of you might be like, that doesn't seem like too much. You bought the physical copy. What does that mean? When I mean I bought the physical copy, that means that album has some meaning to me. I'm looking at it. I have a really small collection of CDs, but I do like collecting CDs. And when I buy a CD for an album, that means I must really fucking love that album or that artist. Like, some of my albums over there consist of, I haven't been buying albums recently, so this is my first purchase in a while, but I think I have The Black Parade over there, I have Blurry Face by 21 Pilots, I have Songs About Jane from Maroon 5, Dookie by Green Day, of course, Nevermind by Nirvana, what else do I think I have over there? I have a Neon Trees album. I was a big fan of Neon Trees, and I still think they're freaking great. Go listen to Neon Trees, but I have their album, whatever. It's one with the brain on it. It's like New Psychology or something like that. There's just a lot of albums over there. And when I buy albums for myself, a lot of them are just like hand-me-downs that I found in my parents' little CD collection. And I'm like, you don't listen to these anymore, so I'm gonna snatch them. That's how I am. But CDs really mean something to me. And I bought Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly. It's so far in my car. There's only like 4 albums in my car, I think. And it's my bro. Actually, I think I have 5. My brother walked in my car, and this is before I had the Tickets to My Downfall in there. He's like, well, your little CD collection here is so confusing because I have Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits album, Fine Line by Harry Styles, and then I have Humans by Gorillaz, and then I had The Theory of a Death Man, or the Diaries of a... I'm gonna sound like a fake Ozzy Osbourne fan. What the fuck is it? ASMR of me typing. Ooh. What's this? This is very unprofessional of me, but am I professional? No. What? Diary of a Madman. I don't know why. I was just thinking of the band Theory of a Dead Man. Is that the name of the band? Yeah. But Diary of a Madman. I had those in my car. My brother's like, what the hell? And I'm like, my music taste, there's one day where I want to scream along with Ozzy Osbourne, and there's the next day where I want to cry along to Fleetwood Mac, and there's another day where I just want to act like a goddamn stoner with Harry Styles. The other day, I don't know, I just want to have some weird fucking bopping session to Humans by Gorillaz. I don't know. My music taste is all over the place. But Tickets to My Downfall, too, like, not only is that it just means too much to me, is like, you had the executive producer on this album being Travis Barker. He is, I would say he's probably one of the best drummers in today's sense. I remember, I think I talked about this before, probably in the first episode when I talked about their, like, MGK's and Travis's performance at the AMAs. But I remember one day, I think he was watching the Grammys. I didn't really know who this guy was. I think I started listening to their music a little bit, but it wasn't too much. I just remember he was, like, up on this stand. It was, like, not like a pedestal, but it wasn't being, like, hung from the ceiling. But he was on his drum set, and he took a drum solo, and I'm like, how the fuck does someone play drums like that? Like, Jesus Christ. This dude look like he's having a seizure on the drum set, but it makes sense. Travis Barker is just one fucking amazing ass producer and drummer, and him working with Machine Gun Kelly in this album was just even better. And then you get the deluxe part where you got like Youngblood's song with him, and then there's a few other songs. It's like, damn, this is so fucking good. Ugh. Tickets to My Downfall. Like I said, he had punk influence since the start, but he made majority rap music. Like, it had a punk feel to it, so it kind of reminds me of Eminem, which I really should not say that because we all know the beef between the two of them. And I hate when people are like, oh, Eminem won that battle. Machine Gun Kelly had to switch genres because of it. No, he was always he always liked punk music. He always loved rock and roll. And I don't care who won or lost that. I love both artists equally. So just let it go. Machine Gun Kelly has grown as a person. Eminem has grown as a person. So shut the fuck up and let them live. But yeah, like, I think the biggest influence of pop punk that we can say that happened on that album was World War III. That song is absolutely beautiful. The drums on that song, absolutely beautiful. All in all, that album is just a perfect example of Machine Gun Kelly, a more mainstream artist, reviving rock and roll. Not a genre that's been dead, a genre that just needed a little bit of a kick in the butt for mainstream viewers to finally get a taste of. And another person who had an album released pretty recently, who has been in the game for such a long fucking time, and finally released her first ever rock and roll album, Miley Cyrus, was Plastic Hearts. I haven't really listened to the album yet. I've heard, what is it called? Midnight Skies? I think I've heard that song. And then I heard Plastic Hearts, because those were on TikTok. I need to sit down and listen to that album. I haven't had time yet. Like I said, I've been spending most of my time in bed, in pain. Woo, sickness. But we all know that Miley Cyrus has the pipes because of her covers. Even though if I haven't listened to her album yet, we know she's been reviving the fucking genre because of her covers. As everybody knows, Heart of Glass fucking just transcended on TikTok. People were like crazy. They thought that was her own song at first. Like, don't forget about Blondie. Blondie's pure. You cannot forget about Blondie. You can't just like shove fucking Blondie in the corner, Debbie Harry, just because you're like, oh, she wrote. No. But will I say that that cover was fucking good? Yes. It took a different take on the more melodic. How do I say this? Hypnotic. I just can't talk. But you know what I mean. The real version of Heart of Glass. Another cover that Miley Cyrus did, which I thought was really good, showed a lot of emotion, and I probably did not like it as much as the original, which is, she did Zombies by the Cranberries. She did that cover. That was really good. Another one that was surfacing up on TikTok, where people actually thought she wrote the song, because, let's admit, this song wasn't as popular as these bands, like other songs, and the band is more newer in the sense of what she has covered, which is the song Why'd You Only Call Me When You Were High by Arctic Monkeys. People really thought that she wrote that song because nobody else has really heard it by the Arctic Monkeys, but no, she did not. Was it a good ass cover? Yes, but she did not write the song. Another one is like Jolene. She did it when she was a bit younger, but there's so many other covers she has done in the past that led her up to now, which just shows that she can be an amazing rock artist. And I think a lot of the times it's like, I get pissed, but I'm sometimes in wow and wonder that the fact that a lot of people thought that she wrote those songs I just talked about. Just because she sang them fucking good. And then nobody's like, a lot of these younger kids are not really hearing these older songs, maybe because their parents aren't showing them, or they just never really ventured into older music. So it's just all around crazy what these people can do. And literally the reason why I got the idea for this episode was because of this like little excerpt from Forbes.com, which when I saw this, because I think it was a tweet at first that I think I saw, and it said like the rock and roll prom king and queen MGK and Miley Cyrus. And now I'm just going to read the little excerpt. I just found this now when I was writing up my little outline for today, which, in quotations, going back to the theme of transformation, rapper Machine Gun Kelly and teen pop queen Miley Cyrus delivered two of the best rock records of the year with MGK's Travis Barker produced Tickets to My Downfall and Cyrus's Plastic Hearts, featuring collaborations with Billy Idol and Joan Jett. MGK had previously stated he grew up on Blink-182 and pop punk, and Cyrus showed in recent years at the Chris Cornell tribute and Door celebration her rock chops as a vocalist are impeccable, and both have demonstrated again and again true rock star charisma and presence. So the leaps from rock star to rock music aren't so surprising, but the quality of the both is 100% legit. These are not novelty projects. And of those fools who have lazily been writing for years, rock is dead. I put quotation marks with my fingers. Rock is dead. Headlines. No, it never has been. And having two major stars from other genres embracing their love of rock and roll only brings new fans into the fold. So there you have it. Rock and roll never died, guys. Forbes, at the end of this little excerpt, I wouldn't even have brought this in, but the ending was just perfect. And what I believe in too, that rock and roll has never died. It's always been around. It's always been around us. Some people, you have to, you like in certain time periods, you have to dive into it and look more for the artists that you want to listen to. But it never died. People like MGK and Miley Cyrus are just getting into a genre that they probably looked up to as a child, like it said, with Machine Gun Kelly growing up on Blink-182 and pop punk. And Cyrus is probably growing up on it too, to the fact that they're like, shit, I want to make some music off a genre that has definitely influenced me. I am done. It's like maybe they're trying to turn a chapter and be like, I spent so much of my time working on da-da-da-da-da or da-da-da-da-da that I'm ready to just fully jump into a new thing. And I'm totally okay with it because these two are great artists. Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly may not have a voice like Miley Cyrus, where Miley Cyrus definitely has a rock and roll voice, but he definitely has a punk voice where it's a punch in the face, low, graveled, raspy voice that definitely shows emotion through it. And then Miley Cyrus sounds like she can almost be a birth child of Robert Plant, but in more aggressive style. But all in all, these two are great musicians, artists, and I have no problem of them bringing their fans now into a scene that they might have never thought of listening to, which is rock and roll, because then they're going to revive the genre, the scene, and maybe we just need that. Also, like I've been talking mostly about Machine Gun Kelly and Miley Cyrus being big factors of them reviving the rock and roll scene, we can't forget about Doja Cat's almost heavy metal version of Say So. I haven't even listened to the full thing, but I seen it on TikTok and I was like, what the hell? Like, go off, sis, but what the hell? I did not expect this from you. And that, like, makes my heart joy because I'm like, I didn't know much about Doja Cat. I just remembered her being the bitch, I'm a cow, moo, bitch. I don't know how that song fucking goes, but I remember one of my friends, Seth, would keep singing it over and over again. But I only thought of her as like, oh, she's gonna be this kind of person. Like, I'm not gonna really look too much into her. But after her AMA's performance, which, like I said, I didn't really like it, but it's probably more because of whoever was working with sound did not do her justice. But I love her atmosphere. She kind of reminded me of like Marilyn Monroe dancing kind of dealio. Like she was about to start breaking out into Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend kind of feel. You know what I'm saying? And just knowing that she, like, fully went into this, like, 2000s heavy metal kind of version of her song. She almost, like, reminded me of... What's the heck is the name of that band? It's, like, Flyleaf, something like that. Or she could have reminded me of Amy Lee from Evanescence. Like, doing something like that, people are going to be like, what the hell is this sound? People who are definitely younger, maybe not have a rock influence in their life, they're gonna be like, this shit sounds good, and then YouTube recommendations might take them to a different rock artist, then they might listen to that, and in the end, Doja Cat could just be like Machine Gun Kelly and Miley Cyrus and help people understand, like, holy shit, rock and roll is still there. People are still making music in 2020 that are rock artists. It's just, it's a bit insane. So, my final thoughts, this is it's kind of being a shorter episode today. I am so sorry, guys. I think I just really rambled through this really fast. But, final thoughts. Rock has never been dead, guys. Rock and roll has always been around. Since its birth in, like, the late 40s, early 50s, it's been around. It's just having this mainstream struggle that it's just not getting radio play, it's not getting as much trending on TikTok or whatever it may be. It's just having a struggle of actually trying to be well known. Now, like I said in my last episode, if we have like Charli D'Amelio start dancing to fucking I don't know, fucking Last Resort by Papa Roach, that might be like a big fucking beautiful. That would be beautiful to watch. I would love to see that. But that might shoot Papa Roach up in the trending sphere. But like doing something like that doesn't happen for rock artists. They don't get well known in that sense. And if 2020 is already having a sense of rock coming back into the mainstream view with MGK, Miley Cyrus, Doja Cat doing her little dealio, it may spark something for 2021. Are we going to see more rock music and more rock artists punching through and getting more mainstream view in this next year? Or is this just a little something nice for us rock people to have hopes and dreams of, but then soon will get crushed? My final question is, do you guys think rock and roll may have a big impact in 2021? I really want to see it have a big impact. That's what I would love to see rock and roll come back. I don't know how, but I hope it will. I don't know what your guys' thoughts is, but say in the comments below. Do you think rock and roll may have a big impact in 2021? So yeah. Let's have another cookie break before we get done with this episode. Ooh. Okay, I need to stop. But anyways, I hope you guys kind of like this episode. It's kind of shorter. I'll admit, I wrote this really fast. I was just having trouble staring at this computer screen all day typing. It was not good. ASMR time. But yeah. I'm hoping that next week's episode can be a bit better. I think I was going to change. I have like an actual like setup for at least this month of what I was going to talk about, but I have no idea if I want to do next week's episode. It's an interesting topic that I have in mind, but I don't know if I can talk about it for a long time. Also, it sounds so weird. I just shoved half the cookie in my mouth. Oh, but yeah, I like I said, I'm a passionate person when it comes to rock and roll. And I remember just seeing that tweet, like whether it was like copy and pasted onto YouTube or I actually saw it on Twitter, I was like, this is a very interesting thing to talk about, because I know some people had some very mixed views about it. But anywho, let's get close to ending off this episode. Woo! Now, we know we always start off the ending part segments with birthdays in this past week. So let's start off with Monday, December 7th. Aaron Carter turned 33. Now, Aaron Carter, I can't remember if he was in a boy band or he just kind of gave out that 2000s boy band-esque kind of feel, but he's one of those kind of guys, I think. And then Sarah Bareilles turned 41. Now, I remember her because she sang the song, like, It's Not a Love Song or something like that, but then she kind of, like, came back this year with, Waitress. If you don't know the musical Waitress, they had some popular songs on TikTok, but it's a great musical. I love the music from it. Thank you, Sarah Bareilles. And she did the music. I think she even wrote part of the storyline or had help, but that's basically her musical, and it was pretty freaking good. It was on Broadway. And yeah. Tuesday, December 8th, Nicki Minaj turned 38. I have a friend who's a huge fan of Nicki Minaj. Anywho, Sam Hutt turned 36. Then we got Corey Taylor, the lead vocalist of Slipknot, or he makes his own music too, turns... Holy shit, he turned 47? God damn! I did not know he was that old. Another one, Jim Morrison, the lead vocalist of The Doors, would have turned 77 today. Man, he was such a great vocalist. Sinead, I can't pronounce it. Sinead O'Connor turned 54, and we all know that her music career is dead, and we all know why. If you don't know, look it up. Ingrid Michaelson turned 41. Now, I only remember her because I think she had like one song about guys or boys. I don't remember, but I definitely know this name. I've heard of it. Sammy Davis Jr. would have turned 95. Holy shit. What a legend. And Jen Ledger, the drummer and backing vocalist for Skillet, turned 31. Now we get on to Wednesday. We only have one birthday on Wednesday, December 9th, that I found, and that was Trey Cool, the drummer of Green Day, turned 48. Dude, Trey Cool, simply, I wouldn't say he's like a very technically great drummer, but damn, he's still fucking good, and I love Green Day. So happy birthday, my dude. And then Thursday, December 10th, we only have one birthday, and holy shit, his little excerpt is very long for me. Nick Martin, and if you don't know who Nick Martin is, you may know the band that he plays for, which he's the rhythm guitarist and backing vocalist for Sleeping with Sirens. Yes, that band with the guy who sounds like a girl. No hate, Kellen Quinn, but you do got some high vocal pipes up there, bro. Then Friday, December 11th, my biggest idol! It was Nikki Sixx's birthday, and he turned 62. I'm gonna go on a little tangent. Yes, I'm gonna go on a little tangent. Oh, okay. Nicki Sixx, man. He is one of my... I'm literally wearing a Motley Crue shirt right now. It was a limited edition on Cyber Monday. I bought it. And let me just say, Nicki Sixx, one of my biggest idols. I said it on Instagram. I said it on my Snapchat, which I don't give you guys my Snapchat, but I said it on my Instagram story, man. This dude inspires me to be a better bassist. Even though he wasn't the greatest bassist, but he still inspires me to be a good performer for being a bassist. And then he inspires me to be an amazing songwriter. And just the one little verse from the beginning of On With The Show, which was, Frankie died just the other night. Some say it was suicide, but we know how the story goes. Just that little part of On With The Show inspired me to start making my own music, and it's all because of Nicki Sixx. Dude, happy birthday. I'm sorry I had to go on my little tangent, but this dude means a lot to me. He's my idol, and he turned 62 on Friday, December 11th. And we have another birthday on December 11th, which is Zachy Vengeance, the rhythm guitarist for Avenged Sevenfold, turns 39. Why are all these rockers getting so old? Stop it. I still listen to your music. Stop getting old. And then we get on to Saturday, December the 12th. Frank Sinatra would have turned 105. Damn. What a man. We still get to hear his New York song every time with New Year's Eve, man. When it's New Year's Day. And then lastly, on December 13th, this Sunday, the day this is being posted, T Swift, or Taylor Swift, turned 31. Amy Lee, lead vocalist of Evanescence, I talked about her earlier in this episode, turned 39. Like, stop getting old, guys. And then Tom DeLonge. He was the lead vocalist and guitarist for Blink-182. He's in other bands too. He's making music still, but people probably know him more from his time in Blink-182, and he turned 44. So that's it for birthdays. Now we get on to the new release of the week. Then on with the artist on the rise, or should be on the rise. And then we get to the closing part of this episode. Okay, new release of the week. I feel like you guys should have saw this coming. But it's Weird by Youngblood, which was released on December 4th. I already heard some of the songs because, singles are a thing. And I was really excited for this album. I don't like it as much, and I'm not trying to be rude to Youngblood. I don't like it as much as 21st Century Liability. I really like that album just because I think it means more to me, especially because that was like the first thing I heard from him. This album is okay, but it does have some freaking great songs, which I love. Mars, which was the last single that he released before the album. Very emotional, and it's something a little bit different that you wouldn't really normally hear from Youngblood, but I'm totally for it. Ice Cream Man, I don't know why, but I really love the beat of Ice Cream Man. Same with Freak Show, which is at the end. That's the last song on the album. And of course, I'm gonna like the song Acting Like That featuring MGK because Machine Gun Kelly's in it. But it's a good song. I like all those songs. The album's pretty good. I listened to it actually while writing up this outline because I knew I was going to use him for the new release of the week. So if you have not yet, listen to Youngblood's new album. If you haven't listened to Youngblood at all, you should just listen to a lot of his more popular songs because then you get a taste for who he is because he's a very eccentric man. There's really nothing else to say to that. Okay, and now we move on to the artist on the rise, or should be on the rise. And this one's a little bit more, don't want to say heartfelt, but close to home. I picked somebody who I actually know personally. I went to high school with him. He graduated last year, and I'm going to be going to the same college he's attending right now. His name's Joshua Gerend. You probably know him because he's the only guy who actually comments on this podcast on the YouTube channel. And he's actually planning on making a theme song. And I'm really excited because this man is one of the best guitarists I have heard in a while. Just being wherever he is when he's playing the guitar is just magical. Like, holy shit. I remember when they had their graduation party, or well, when they left their graduation party, and then they came back just so me and a friend could fucking show up and say happy graduation. When I got there, he literally is just sitting there with his guitar on the front porch, plugged up into an amp, and he's just freestyling, and holy shit, it sounds good. I don't want to be too far. I don't want him to get so egotistical because he actually listens to this podcast. But he is almost like a Jimi Hendrix reincarnation. And it's probably because Jimi Hendrix is one of his biggest influences. But yeah, he is an amazing guitarist. I hope to see more music from him. And I want to see music where he's singing because he has a good voice too. But one song I want you guys to listen to, it's only a guitar instrumental, but it has so much emotion just for having guitar in it. And he wrote it and made it for his dog who passed away the day before Thanksgiving. It's called Sophie's Song because their dog was named Sophie. I didn't get to see Sophie too much, except I saw a lot of videos and pictures that he or his twin brother would send either personally to me or in a group chat I was in with them. I met Sophie like once or twice. She was such a cute doggo. I think she was a year younger than my dog, and they're the same breed. My dog, Maggie, they're both golden doodles, so they basically look the exact same, just a little bit of a color difference. But yeah, that song, so much emotion into it. It was just so fucking good. Go listen to Joshua Gerend, sorry. He has his full name. Go listen to Joshua Gerend on YouTube. Subscribe to him. Fucking go into the comments of Sophie's song and tell him to make more fucking music because he should be making music. He is such a great fucking artist and he has the mind to make some good ass music. So he should be on the rise. He should be making more music, and he definitely is probably listening to this podcast. So if you're hearing me right now, Josh, make more goddamn music. Thank you. Anyways, it's a shorter episode, guys, today. I'm sorry. My head's starting to hurt. I want to actually close this off. It's not an hour long, and I'm sorry about that, but what can you do? So we're here at the end. You guys know my social medias are down below for you guys to follow me. My TikTok is katie.fritz. My Instagram and Twitter is IamKatieFritz. Please come back next Sunday. I have my episode picked out. I'm not going to say it because I might switch, but that's fine. But please, 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 guys, go check out the artists I talked about and their albums. Thank you guys for supporting me, and I would love to see y'all come back next Sunday, honestly. And hopefully I'm going to be feeling better, so looking at the screen isn't making me feel like I'm having 5,000 little midgets. Not like people midgets, just like miniature people, like actual, like, not even an inch tall kind of people just punching at your brain. That's what it feels like right now. And I'm going to probably take a break and just eat some cookies. Maybe watch some YouTube. Or maybe not. Lay in my bed. Maybe watch some TikToks. I don't know. Maybe I got to make some TikToks. I got to do that. I'll make some TikToks after this. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for listening all the way out till now. And I hope to see y'all next Sunday. Bye-bye.